You know what I want? A video game movie that doesn't suck. Have we got one or two that were okay? Sure. But these movies are the cinema equivalent to going out with a stripper. You're all excited and you think you're gonna get some of that sweet, sweet poon. But then you just waste your money and look like a chump. Well, today, we're here to tell you that movie production companies are about to strike gold with video game stories in the very near future. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get some. Look, we all know video game movies up to this point leave a lot to be desired. The long list includes stinkers like Alone in the Dark, Doom, Hitman, Max Payne, Assassin's Creed, and most recently, Borderlands. These have been cash grab attempts by corporate suits to leech off gamers. They want a piece of that Master Chief's ass, but we gotta play hard to get, everyone. I also gotta say that I love video games as much as the next person. It's scary to think how many hours I probably lost in my youth hearing Slayer while eating Dino Nuggets and Cheetos. I also imagine each one of you watching right now probably played video games growing up, and maybe you still do today. It was and still is such an impactful medium of entertainment for so many people. Now, with this nostalgic pool of resources to pull from, you'd think a director would have jumped at the chance to bring a character like Blink or Marcus Phoenix to the big screen. But no. Instead, we got directors that had no care for the source material to churn out cinema fodder for the lowest common denominator. But why, Matt? Why do they do this? Well, if you're honestly asking that question, well, then you are lost! But if you're like me, you know those greedy execs can't wait to get their grubby Weinstein-looking hands on our video games, and you can bet they don't have the same love for them like we do. Most of the video games we love have turned into long-running franchises, spawning multiple sequels. Although they vary in quality, they still score far better than their bargain bin movie adaptations. Now you're probably saying, but Matt, they can't all be dumpster fires, right? Well, of the roughly 46 movies that have directly spawned from a video game, 7 rank above 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and only 1 ranks above 70%. And those are far better ratings if you compare them to the sweaties over at Metacritic. No matter what, those grades aren't getting you a degree from Arizona State. Now, say what you will about the difference between, critic and audience reviews. It's hard not to look at these statistics and think that something is wrong with these video game movie adaptations. But again, we're here to tell you that they're going to strike gold in the next 2 to 3 years. But before I go any further, I humbly ask you to like our video, leave a comment, and as always, subscribe. And back to the video. It's no secret that movie production companies love trilogies and cinematic universes. Basically anything that allows them to build upon a story and a set of characters through multiple movies. It's easier from a cost perspective, and if it's done right, it can almost guarantee them profits for a while. Now, the caveat here again is if that first movie is done right. We've seen numerous trilogies and cinematic universes attempt to get started, but fail almost immediately. I'm looking at you, Aragon and Tom Cruise's The Mummy. Because Hollywood loves to sit back in their lazy boys like Joey and Chandler, video games are poised to hit the big screen like a stampede of plebs on Black Friday. In the early days, video games were less about story and more about gameplay. As they evolved, however, we got a lot more fleshed out stories. With some tear-jerking moments. We've had shocking twists, character arcs, and jaw-dropping scenes that make you pause the game and walk around your house to process what you just saw. Over the last 20 years, video games have arguably become the most popular medium of storytelling. In 2022, in fact, per Forbes, video games accounted for $186 billion of revenue, while comparably the music industry and global box office made $26 billion in revenue. That's almost 7 times more. Now, I get that not all of the video games were story-driven, but I bet more than 1/7 were. Okay, Matt. So video games do well. How does this translate into movies? Hollywood has run out of ideas, and we also know that they're already searching for alternative scripts and screenplays. And they're also just remaking a bunch of movies. Austin frickin' Butler is going to be Patrick Bateman in the new American Psycho. Oof. Marvel is kind of winding down. Star Wars is taking a break. Hell, Harry Potter's getting a new TV show. All of these situations and more are not only going to propel a video game to hit the big screen, but also crush it as far as revenue and reception. especially when you see the long list of games that they have lined up in various stages of production. We're going to see games like The Legend of Zelda, Ghosts of Tsushima, Until Dawn, Gears of War, and my most anticipated, BioShock. The stories in these games are begging for movie adaptations. I mean, can you imagine seeing all of the deaths in Until Dawn for real? Also, imagine if Eli Roth directed that movie instead of Borderlands. The slate of video game movies coming out in the very near future is lengthy, and it's only a matter of time before a director who really cares about the source material gets his or her chance to bring it to life. Also, the casts in these movies are going to get so much material to work with. Can you imagine Chris Evans playing Jack in BioShock, experiencing rapture for the first time? All it's going to take is one of these video game movies to do well, and the floodgates will open. We're patiently waiting, but we won't accept the stinkers we've been getting. Hollywood needs to do better, and I believe they will soon. Now, video games have gotten so big that it's only a matter of time before the movie industry starts spitting out adaptations like Marvel. And with that, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you're as excited as I am about the upcoming slate of video game movies. And one final time, would you kindly hit that like button, type in the comments what video game movie you're most excited to see, and as always, subscribe to the channel.